But we do have a game.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I don't...
It's okay though. We're in, so I showed the beginning part here. Nida versus Orc, of course. Czech going up against XiaoKK. Czech should be the big favorite here, but already XiaoKK dispatched of one favorite today. And that was Lucifer with a 2-1 victory. Let's see if he can do that again. One borrow tech, of course, from the Orc, especially against Night Elf. That has to be the play. Unless it's twisted, then maybe you want to think about more grunts earlier. And speaking of grunts, we have praised him a lot before with how he uses them. And now looking towards the main base. And the Ancient of War is actually not going towards the main to block it. Instead, he's going to go for more and more creeping. Oh, the Demon Hunter finds the blade here. Revealed, but too fast to take fatal damage.
That buys quite a bit of time for Czech here to continue creeping. Very interesting, this movement with the Ancient of War. I mean, he can build a shop, but that's still not enough. So I wonder if XiaoKK will abuse this. Grunt is moving in. He only has one heal self, though, and one wind walk. Maybe it's too risky to go for it.
I actually really like it on AI, using the Ancient of War so aggressively, because on AI it is so easy to keep your wisps safe because of the way the trees are set up. So even if the blade is in the main, you're not going to lose any wisps, or at least you shouldn't. But the archer here won't be so lucky to survive the early... Oh, unless there's an amazing block coming out. No, not quite. Excuse me. She will be falling. Tech-wise, we have the Orc a little ahead, as is most of the time the case here with the one burrow. Czech answering with the 2 Moonwell tech. But he's not feeling confident enough here to creep now. The Blade Bastard's around, the Grunt is around. And he's gonna stay on his level 2 here for a while.
Tier 2 is almost finished for XiaoKK, and he has to cancel the step, the shop, so the floodgates are open. But do you really want to go into that? He did quite a bit of damage, killed the archer, got a bit of experience. Still level 1 though. On the other side, 2 circles on the Blade Master Demon Hunter with claws encircled. Very nice item for him. Now, finally, the Ancient of War has to move back, as he has to protect his shop, and soon the Ancients of Wind that will be coming.
And it's Beastmaster time, of course. Question is always, how do you want to use him? Aggressively or to creep? Looks like aggression, certainly for now. He lost the archer before though, so his damage output is a little lower than it might usually be. But of course, then again, you lose the archer a lot of the time anyways. And the grunts are far away from the base. And this is kind of a bad timing for XiaoKK. It is so predictable that this will happen. But the grunts still not here to help in this defense. And the bestiary will definitely be falling. Can he get the lodge? I don't think so. Especially with the Demon Hunter being so low. You would really like to keep your TP for as much as possible. And he's going to be able to keep it as well. So Raiders delayed, but Walkers will be here soon. So is the TC. And only 2 grunts. Didn't go for 3, which is more usual. But then again, we've seen only 2 grunts also. But of course that means creeping now is going to be a little rougher for the Orc.
Yeah, everything will be slowed down, but I guess it is, as it is the nature of AI, there will be a lot of creeping in the long creeping phase, so maybe skipping a grunt here, cutting the corner, is not going to do too much. I don't think Czech's going to be crazy aggressive now. He has to wait for tier 3, he has to wait for master upgrade. So what can he really accomplish now? I mean, he can poke a bit here and there, but he doesn't want to fight at all. He did a good job in keeping the bestiary away, so there's not too much map control for XiaoKK now without End Snare. I think both will be happy with the passive play.
Alright, and this time it is XiaoKK being kept from creeping. Well, again, I should say. Lucifer was trying to do that a lot, especially on AI earlier and here. Once again, we have the first walker now coming in, and there are 4 targets for him to hit with a Spirit Link, and that's gonna help a lot here. Last hit. Could he get it maybe with a Quill Beast? No. Goes towards XiaoKK, and there is a Spirit Link, and suddenly it's much harder here to apply the pressure, but he's still trying to, still being annoying here. As you said before, no End Snare at the moment makes this all a lot less dangerous.
Yeah, I think
A player's forces are under attack.
walkers are of course super important later on, but if you have the chance to kill the beast tree or the lodge, you should always go for the beast tree to just get rid of that end snare. Spirit Link is helping, yeah, but that would be better. Big fight for the null overseer. First heroes battle it out, but there was a stab. Everything is super hurt though. Still 2 Quilbies doing a lot of damage. And how much units can he kill? First grunt is dead.
Why didn't he use the scroll of speed? Could have easily saved that grunt if he just uses the scroll. And don't tell me it's not worth it. It's 50 gold, man. So I think maybe XiaoKK just didn't realize for a moment there that he had the item. Yes, of course, grunts are not what you want to have in the late game, but you don't want to give them up so freely either. Alright, tier 3 is done for the Night of Master Training. About 60%. And this is oftentimes where the orc would love to be a little aggressive now, go for some kills with like ensnares. He has 1 ensnare, but he's just gonna go for creeping and gonna allow creeping to happen for his opponent as well. Perhaps a bit too passive to play here, and he staffs out the demon to get solo XP on the Beastmaster. Or perhaps it's just to deal with the raider, but that is surprising nonetheless.
Well, it is level 2, so that's the Hawk, and that's a lot more vision on a small map like AI, really good. Late Master's going to the Warlord spot. We saw that in a game against Lucifer before, stealing that from your opponent, always nice. Mana Stone would be the dream. Healing Ward is also okay, especially with Spirit Link. Healing Ward is really good.
Alright, the raider.
It's finished, and Cyclone upgrade is there.
Raider just barely gets away. Blade Master is looking pretty strong here with his 3 damage enhancing items. Also has the invul. Oh, starting that camp for XiaoKK was a little risky. He has a speed scroll here to get out, but there's also Cyclone to be worrying about. And the first walker dies immediately, and there is at least 1 Cyclone. The shockwave was not the greatest. And the TC in trouble, doesn't have Spirit Link, he's gonna get cycloned up. There's no invul on him! He might get surrounded here and die immediately. Oh man, XiaoKK, what a mistake. Heal Stroll, can it save him? He uses it here, but it's just too much damage. The Demon Hunter easily gets the kill, and the TC dies, and that is absolutely horrible! XiaoKK, way too greedy, starting that camp, and almost losing another walker as well. Even loses it in the end to the mana burn, and he's just chasing forward now.
Check wiping the floor with his opponent here. Next Raider falls. That was like 12 supply gone, or even more, right? 15. This does not look good at all. And the Raider, he's getting caught as well. This one will go down in a bit and then be killed. Can he somehow interfere into this? He only has 2 Raiders, 1 walker remaining. Phenomenal chase by Check. Going for the second surround here. He does have some time. Well, it's open, I guess. But the Demon Hunter closes it now. Has to invest a second Cyclone if he wants to. There's so much mana.
TC is still dead. He's gonna be back kind of soon. But the Night Elf is pressing forward. Everything here is a little injured. Peons coming in now as well. I guess some of the talents here are low HP as well, but still, as far as the mana goes, they're looking pretty good. More and more Cyclones coming towards the blade, is of course necessary. And they're even in terms of supply.
TC will pop out in a bit. The TC will pop out in a bit and then immediately get caught, but in between he can do easy damage to the burrows, and so many talents, so much magic damage. Heavy armor on the burrows. XiaoKK is supply stuck for a long time. Shockwave actually was bad. There were so many talents and he managed to hit maybe 2.
But he got a kill at the very least. Another Raider falls though. Not a good trade. TC up in the air again. Is he gonna get surrounded again? This time it might be a little more dangerous. By the way, also supply stuck is the orc with losing those 2 burrows. Everything seems to be falling to crap at the moment. The 3 Raiders on the side don't seem to be surviving for too much longer. In fact, nothing here seems to be surviving for too much longer. Thanks to Spirit Link, everything is dropping low here at the same time. Only now the level 3 demon, but how dominant he was able to be earlier anyways. And that's an easy 1-0 for Czech.
Yeah, that was way more one-sided than I thought. Against Lucifer, XiaoKK was playing very, very good. And now, such an easy mistake with the creep spot. I mean, that was where his game fell apart completely. But before, he was also in a bad position with those, with the Beastery lost. And without the end snare in the mid-game. That makes things very, very hard. So...
It was actually
But
pretty
yeah,
cool
the nail in the
how Czech was able to apply so much pressure when he was trying to creep his first merchant. He even found a grunt kill there, which was unnecessary, and he put on so much damage onto the Orc army. So once he had the ensnare with the Raider, he wasn't feeling so comfortable to actually engage because he was still healing up. So that was actually really cool. All that damage he dealt kind of bought him time to not take losses until his master was done. Yeah, and then that creepjack finished off the game. And I see people in the chat are already getting triggered again. This is the matchup where people are most polarized, right? Orc players always say, oh my god, Night Elf is so overpowered. And Night Elf players always say, oh my god, Orc is so overpowered. I think that's where people fall the most.
I think we rarely see like a balanced game. It's always very one-sided.
It's true, actually. Yeah, it's true,
the early and mid game, like things tip to one side or another, and then you just snowball with it, I guess.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Seems very one-sided.
But I think so too. It seems very volatile. Either it goes this way or the other.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you have a Blade Master plus 30 or a TC with 600 mana, or a very fast way to level 5, then it's super great for Orc. But if you kill like one of the 2 production buildings for Orc at tier 2, then things look really good for the Night Elf. I mean, those things that decide games.
Yeah, and I think it's also the typical Orc problem that there's like 2 or 3 Orcs out there who just look way better than everyone else. Yeah. If Lin had played that game, and he may have lost the bestiary as well, but it would have looked completely different moving forward. For Night Elves, there's a lot more contenders who can hang with the best, and Czech, we say this quite a lot, he has some very good days and some days where he's kind of off. That's the first game we saw from him here on stream, but of course in the earlier rounds he defeated TBCBM, which was to be expected. So he seems to have a pretty decent day, today, and with one more map win, he will be through to the playoffs. And we can take a look here.
Following,
yesterday,
Moon, Chimiko, Romantic, and So-In would actually be only the second Night Elf.
Exactly.
But if we look at Group D, then there's most likely going to be 2 more Night Elves from that group.
Yeah. So, might definitely be in the cards that no undeads are going to be advancing. But of course...
Lucifer or TBCBM have to beat XiaoKK then. So...
Yeah. And I think Lucifer is going to be very happy if Czech wins, because Lucifer beating Czech, I don't see that happening too easy.
Me neither. And I think against XiaoKK, yeah, he lost the first best of 3, but he definitely has a good chance of coming back. But yeah, tomorrow and Sunday we have a tournament without undeads, unfortunately, but GCS Western Qualifier is around the corner. We had the Open Qualifier last Saturday, and the Great Wall, Effect, Razorman, and Cash qualified for this stage. And the quarterfinals are Hawk versus Razorman, Foggy versus the Great Wall, Orc versus Effect, and Sonic versus Cash. So this is the best that Europe has to offer, and I'm very much looking forward to the cast tomorrow.
There you're gonna be by yourself, unfortunately. I won't be able to be there, but still gonna be a really cool cast, really cool games. Alright, but today we have GCS, and we have the next game. Czech is in the lead with the 1-0. And do you know if it is the counter pick format or if the maps are predetermined?
I think it's counter picking.
Okay. AZ? Very unusual orc pick. And if you tune in to the stream here, we sound kind of a broken record on this, always the same. But still the case. In the late stages, really good for the orcs. So much open space. Oftentimes it's hard for the Night Elf to creep, especially Red Camp will never be able to be crept by the Night Elf. But in the early stages, it's pretty good for Elf. Gets a lot done with the Ancient of War only. Demon Hunter gets off to a good start, so that's why we oftentimes see it for Night Elf picked. But yeah, this time it's XiaoKK. Maybe he has something special planned.
I was just about to say that. I mean, we saw it against Lucifer that he went for Zappers very quickly. And it's possible against Night Elf as well. Like, if you bomb 2 Moonwells, then you keep the talents in the Engine of Wind, can't produce them. So that might be a key why he chose AZ.
Ah, these Night Elves, man. He just denied the Renegade Wizard with the Lightning Shield. How is it that this is still happening? I don't get it. Why? Just move away with the Archer 1 second early. If you finish your creep camp 1 second later, you're not gonna lose the game, man. Don't worry about it. We'll never understand, Neo. Never understand.
Nah, me neither.
But alright.
I don't know.
Demon Hunter now only level 1, has to decide which skill he wants to go for. Didn't choose one yet, but... Alright, it's gonna be evasion. And he's gonna try to get the borrow cancelled. Interesting play here.
The lounge, you mean? That is
Yes.
working out very, very well. So no selves for the Blade Master. That means he has to creep a little slower and more careful. Or not at all. But it's not boots time yet, otherwise it would be horrible. He's following the Demon Hunter there. There's no second Windwalk to back this up with. And now the chase is over. Good little harass by Check. Just one unit. That's about it.
Alright, taking a look at the techs. The Orc once again ahead. This time by a little bit more than last time. And the Blade probably gonna stack up on some circlets here. He's gonna be tanking and dealing damage, so more stats always welcome. I'm gonna get a tome here as well. Another half circlet for him. The grunt finds him though. Again, XiaoKK, man. These grunts, they seem to have like binoculars. How they always find where they need to be. It's really cool. But the Blade Master's too far away to do anything about this.
A player's forces are
Yeah, what
under
can he
attack.
do? Usually you want this spot for the second hero to get level 2 immediately. But I think he has no other choice but creeping this. Maybe the Murlocs in front of his base, but they don't give you too much. So, going for the Renegade first. I don't know if he leaves the Rogues. He should maybe leave the Rogues and just go for the items. And that is what he's doing. Lodge and Beastery coming up. Tier 2 not really finished, so maybe Check a little more passive this time.
The Demon Hunter himself, though, is moving across. He was able to stack up on a lot of small items here. No claws for him, but a lot of tankiness is what he was able to find. 850 HP now with a lot of armor and evasion as well. And it's gonna be Beast Master time again.
Yep.
What did he just sell there?
And looks like he's going for the base. We saw the Beastery cancellation in game 1. Now they're only at 50%. There's a bouncer in front, so he can't enter yet. Also no... Ah, there's a staff actually, but no wisp. There was a wisp, but he's not moving it in.
He could staff onto the Quill base, but I think it's too late. It's, buildings are almost done. Don't think he can cancel this. Nope.
That's a lot of wasted time then.
Yep,
For Check.
absolutely. And the Ancient of War is only moving out now. Isn't that a little late? Don't you want to do that a little earlier? Because now,
Town is under
before the
siege.
TC is out, he could try to creep the Kobolds, where the Grunt is, and rent again the Grunt scouting. Man, it's so good from XiaoKK. Wondering
really
himself,
impressive.
where's your Ancient of War? It is a little late.
So 0 experience on the Beastmaster. The production buildings got through. And the TC is there as well. XiaoKK should have a very good early mid game. Especially with Ensnare. Check. Yeah, going for the Taskmaster now. There is the Blade Master is far away. The Grunt is there, scouted. But that means he has all the time in the world for the Sasquatch, which he can easily creep. Even with only one Grunt. As the second one is still harassing and scouting.
Didn't have a dust here to maybe see the Windwalking Blade Master coming in, but as we obviously saw for ourselves here, he was creeping over there, and he's getting very close to level 3. That's pretty nice. And now comes the Tauren. This time Ensnare, not Ensnare, and nothing is going to be delayed for the Orcs, so it's going to be a big power spike here once Ensnare finishes up. And I have it visible on screen right now, only a couple seconds away. And here comes the Walker and the Raider. What can he kill here? That's of course the thing about the Night Elf army early. Usually you can't kill anything, because there's no units here, and everything else can just be staffed.
I think the Beastmaster could be a target. There's no TP on him. The Demon Hunter is way too tanky, as you expressed earlier on. 8.5 armor points. That's too much, but now the Raider is too far away from the Beastmaster, so he can't get that as well. Also, on the other side, there were 3 Quill Beasts against this, so you don't want to lose too much HP against those, but it's a bit of experience for the TC, almost 100, so that's alright.
And tier 3 is now done. He's a little late on the adapt training here, but there we go. Master queued. And now he has to count the seconds until finally he can use the Cyclone. How's gonna XiaoKK make use of this window where the Night Elf is still weak? I really like that he took out the shop here, taking that away from the Night Elf. Gonna have more issues getting to the level 3 demon, which he made hard enough for himself in the very beginning where he denied that Renegade Wizard. Is he gonna seriously creep this merchant? This merc camp? That is...
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Maybe he just wanted to scout and see if he lured out the other creeps to go for the item and then maybe punish it or steal it with a mana burn or something, but he wasn't there yet. So just 10 seconds or something. If he comes in 10 seconds later, then he can do massive damage again, like he did on AI.
But now there are 3 ensnares, so it's no longer so easy to get away even with the double staff that he has. And we can see the first few berserkers coming in. I like this move here. He knows the orc is in the top left, so he should be safe to creep up here at his own merc camp towards the right. At least the Renegade Wizard. I don't know that he has the tankiness here to tank all the enforcer damage. And this is an item that I always like to see. That's good both times. I think it's really nice for the heroes, but of course for the army.
I don't agree. As always, I do not agree with this. It's so little healing for only like 3 units. You should sell it and get a hero instead.
It's like 10 heal every swing for the demon. That does add up. All right, staff.
Nah,
staff.
It's not. It's like, what is his damage? It's max of 60. That's maximum of 6 per hit. Oh no, it's 15, right? Okay, so it's 10. Yeah, you're.
That's a little less, maybe on average.
It's 9, but
a player's forces are under attack.
Still, I don't see the value. You should sell or get a hit.
But dude, it's the vamp, alright, so cool. And you can kind of like show off to the orc. Ha, you like the item, guess what? I found it though. I found it.
Yeah, indeed. But it's just for 3 units.
It's 3 heroes, man. It's not just units. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, but for the Beastmaster, it's like 4 HP per hit.
The biggest issue for the Night Elves here is finding a good position in the late game. Pocket Factory deployed, but still those talents seem to be pretty reachable. And we don't have many talents at all. But the Orc units are already really hurt, as 2 of the Raiders who don't have Spirit Link will be picked off here quickly with the damage of the Beastmaster, which Neo I thought was so bad. I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, he only has 3 talents left, and the Tinker is in deep, deep trouble. Will be getting staffed out here before he falls. The Demon Hunter is trying his best here to save this fight, but he can't really, as he loses another talent. And that was just too unimaginative. An area so wide open, so hard to find a good fight, even if you get good damage out. And also 6 talents, that is very low count.
Yeah, you see the right side of the map, that everything is teal, so XiaoKK is still a lot of units to work with. Well, this is exactly what we saw after game 1, or what we meant after game 1. Like, it looks so easy for Orc now with 1-1 fight in the early. But Night Elf can always come back with fast reproduction of talents. So XiaoKK, a lot of stuff is hurt, and it's a good decision by Czech to immediately be aggressive again.
Also a little dangerous though, he doesn't have a TP anymore. No invul either. But yeah, this is the issue now for the Orc. He wants to have time to heal up again, clarity up again, but of course that's exactly what the Night Elf does not want to give him. The Wand of Illusion here, gonna bait a few fake Cyclones. TC coming from the back, he has 1 Shockwave ready right now. This should be a big one, they're all lined up. He's not paying attention to it at the moment, but here we go, BAM! That was a really nice one, but there is a heal scroll to counter this. The Raiders in the front don't find the targets onto the talents too easily. As we always say, so quick to reproduce. Most of them died the fight prior, but already he has so many again. And he's finding more and more kills, more and more Cyclone. The Walkers are completely out of mana! He can't get rid of the Cyclone anymore, and that means that the Raiders are basically useless. They're only up in the air. The Beastmaster in the front is taking quite a bit of damage. One more Berserker will be falling. The Blade Master, can he do something? The Beastmaster is almost falling. Level up saves him, staffs him out. And now he can heal up and staff back in again. The Blade Master, when's he gonna use his Beast Mode? Still has not popped that invul. And Czech is turning this fight around.
Really well done. Also in the middle of the fight there was a surround on the Berserker. Really cool. He can't surround the Blade Master here because of Windwalk, but it's time to pick up more units here. Another Cyclone being used. Blade Master comes in with Windwalk, but what does he want to do? The Demon Hunter way to tank. He's around on the Beastie, on the TC. There's another Shockwave though. He opens it up, hits 3 units there. He'll post on the Demon Hunter. Can he actually trade that one? XiaoKK desperately trying to go for a hero kill, but his own heroes are so super duper low. Fury Fire kicking in, Invul Potion being popped finally, and he stabs out his first hero. But talent damage is still real.
Oh, did you see all that healing from the aura, Neo? Oh, so juicy.
Come on.
Alright, here we go. Cyclones around. The TC transfers something. I think it was a heal scroll. I don't know. He dies though, despite the fact that he was not in the surround. In fact, it was the one of mana stealing with which he was able to windwalk again. But Czech seemed to outmatch his opponent there. XiaoKK without much of a chance. And he drops down to the lower bracket. And Czech qualifies.
Czech qualified for the playoffs. And so we're down to lower bracket semi-final now to determine the opponent of XiaoKK, which will be an undead. The question is which undead? Either TBCBM or Lucifer. TBCBM made quite a name for himself at Nostalgia Battlefield, where he was in TH's team with Focus and TH and won that tournament in the end. So quite a big chunk of money for this dude in this year already.